back in our boxes. They let us out and then put us back in. Welcome, kids.
Breath mint? Anybody? Internet?
You're going to need it.
Breath mint?
You're going to need it for today's episode. It's all about the stank, and the stunk.
So yeah, today we're doing something a little different. We're doing remaster versus remix. What's the difference, and why should you care?
That's right. In honor of the cage match on the White House lawn.
Right. Yeah, President Camacho.
Rawr.
So
Here comes Mike Tyson.
When I was a younger man, I thought remixes and remasters were just, it's like they're just trying to trick me into buying this thing again. I already have it. Why do I need it again? But as an old man collector, yeah, I need it again. There's all kinds of reasons to need it again.
That's right.
I mean, and some of those reasons are simple, like a nicer remastering. Sometimes like when the original era that a release comes out in, it just has it just isn't sonically perfect, and they just find ways down the road to fine tune things and make them more listenable. Right. So a lot of my examples today lean to that. Things that were released during the early 2000s, the grand era of super brick walling.
Oh yeah.
And attempts to dial some of that.
What do we mean by brick walling?
Well, that is it's one of those things where you kind of have to see it. And once you see it, you'll know that you're hearing it. Right. So musical waveforms have kind of peaks and valleys, or dynamic musical waveforms do. So, really loud sounds will have big peaks, and really low sounds will be deep in the valley. But things that are brick walled, every every ounce of space is full. Right. So it's full of volume, it's full of instruments. Every single sonic real estate is full of stuff. Is that how you kind of see it? Yeah. I wasn't trying to. That was like a trick question test for for your brain. But I know that some people I am not the guy, and nor will I ever attempt in any way, shape, or form to say that I know the science of anything that we are about to discuss today. But much like you said, once you see a waveform that has been brick walled, you can't unsee it, and you can't unhear it, and it seems very much, like everything is pushed to the edge. And I think it came from an era, mainly, it got famous / infamous for people trying to get their song to be the loudest song on like the radio, when the radio was still like a thing. And that's how you got people to listen to music. So the idea was that if my single is the loudest thing that jumps out of the speaker, it's going to get the most attention. I mean, and that's Reader's Digest condensed version of what they were doing, but it's kind of like a big marketing ploy, really. And usually the artists, I feel like both knew and didn't know in some cases that like that was really happening. And like sometimes, different mixes got delivered to radio, then got delivered to the consumer even. That's an age-old tactic to market something like, oh, it sounds this way on the radio, but now it sounds a little different at my house. Why's that? Like, yeah. Because somebody was like, we're sending this one to radio, and it's hot. It's the hot mix. Yeah. I was aware of that. That's really interesting. But that, So it's designed to just be, to boom out, to jump out of your car speaker.
Right.
And to just have more impact.
Right. And I mean, and on the one hand, it worked. You definitely got your Red Hot Chili Peppers songs heard at maximum volume,
Right. So if you want to seek out some CD brick wall examples, Chili Peppers is a killer example. Californication, the first run of that, is good luck if you can listen to it from beginning to end without your
Yeah.
ears getting tired. And it's not because it's the thrashing album or anything. It's just because it's mastered super hot, and every single ounce of real estate is filled up with slippity poppity bibbity pop pop pop.
Right. So and generally, when you change you change the volume, you change frequency responses. And so so suddenly something that's already bright, you keep turning it up, it's going to seem and be perceived brighter and or bassier or whatever to people's ears too. So it's like, that's what creates that harsh quality. That's why it looks so spiky when it's brick walled, because it's just like, oh God. Why am I being assaulted so hard by Anthony Kiedis' voice?
Not just, bands from the 90 alt rock bands. My most recent experience with a brick wall was Led Zeppelin's Mothership. It's a CD compilation from that time, from the early 2000s, and it is just, and these are songs I've been listening to my whole life. Led Zeppelin 1, 2, mostly the hits. But man, like track 4, my ears are just exhausted.
Right.
It's just a blown up, version of all those songs. It's just super, super loud.
Right. And it makes it seem less, I think they were going for like maximum impact, but actually you kind of get a less impactful listen out of something like that. 'Cause you need the low to make, or the quiet to make the big seem bigger, and vice versa. Like, you can't just have it all be like between 9.5 and 10 on the dial, and like that's not going to get it. Like, the greatest stuff ever, I mean, arguably, I guess, is where it lives between, they went down to 5 or like 3, and then in the chorus they brought it up to like 9. That's where you're like, yeah, because then it sounds like it jumps out of the speakers. But
yeah, dynamic music sounds alive. Dynamic music sounds alive. Has peaks and valleys. So I mean, volume is definitely one aspect of mastering. EQ is another. Yep. EQ is a big part of it. When I finally did start to hear the differences between how my classic vinyl was mastered versus my CD versions, it was the EQ stuff that jumped out immediately.
Right.
Like I have some Zappa stuff, and I learned a lot from another YouTuber, Bill Camarada. He's got a YouTube guy who's got a really cool show called Bill's Box of Sound, and he goes through, it's a daunting task, but he goes through all the Zappa releases and talks about them deeply, all the different versions, all the, minutia of the releases. And from him, I learned that there was a whole the stuff that I grew up with, was terribly mastered from the 90s. It's just EQ'd like very flat. So, like there's so many Zappa albums that I just never connected with, because they just kind of sound, for lack of a better example, flat. Just not a lot of, no boomy bass, no highs, nothing. It was just kind of all in the middle. But then going back to those original vinyl releases, like, these things are dynamic. These things are great, and it's like, I like these albums so much better in their original form.
Right.
So yeah, that's EQing is a big part of it.
Right. Yeah.
Like what are some of your experiences with
I mean,
EQ?
I feel like a lot of the remastering, as we stated in a earlier episode, I'm a big television fan. Marquee Moon being a big one. I have multiple copies, and they've all been mastered by different people. I think, for my taste at this point, my original copy is probably the one that I find the most like awesome. I don't know. It's, again, there's no science to this for me. It's like more of like a feeling, like atmospheric, esoteric sort of thing. But I think that, like, there's a new version that like it's a Rhino high fidelity version. That's like, I mean, it's a great sounding copy. I think it does some things that addresses some of the problems that people have with the original being like thin, or like, you know, it kind of modernizes, if you will, the like listening experience a little bit to what more what you maybe expect of a record that you bought at the store today. I mean, that being said, like, I think for the most part, I don't think anybody who went out and bought a brand new copy of most of the records that we'll probably talk about today or bring up in the remastering versions will like notice a huge difference in the sound quality in a lot of things. There are definite remasters that stick out. They're like, yes, that's a different beast. There are a lot of them that are just kind of like, maybe if I had a $10,000 stereo and like my, you know, my stylus was made of kryptonite baloney or something, and like, you know, shot out magical moonbeams every time you listen to it, or whatever the new, you know, whatever the newest thing is. Maybe you could pick out that John Paul Jones' bass sounds better on this song than the last song or whatever, but I think by and large, a lot of the like remastering doesn't change that much. I mean, there's plenty of YouTube videos out there of like A/B comparisons of like, is this actually different? You know, and like, or people put up, you know, the sound wave, and you actually see that like, for all intents and purposes, no, it's not, you know. But at the end of the day, if it feels different, then I feel like it is worth something. Like, I mean, it's kind of the placebo effect, I'm sure, but like, it feels like if you put it on your record player that you have with your setup that you have, whatever it is, and it sounds better to you, then it's better. Like,
Yeah, right.
and
Oh,
it's
totally
fine.
is.
You know,
Totally
it's like there's a lot of people out there who be like, no, don't tell them that. It's like,
is.
sorry, not everybody has $500 to go buy an original copy of whatever. And if, you know, at the end of the day, if it gets more people into music and they can get into it for not $1,000 or whatever, that's awesome.
You're right.
You know?
You're right. I mean, that is the important thing, is just the music connecting to people.
Right. Right.
And that gets lost a lot in collector world when there is a fixation on, oh, this version versus that version.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it is a very personal and subjective thing. It's
Right.
it's what, you know, it's how you feel about it.
Right. I mean, I definitely don't have a fancy stereo of any kind. Like, it's, I mean, I think I was all in like $250 or something on the whole shebang because I shopped on sale.
Yes.
But like,
and
you know,
right.
it sounds great. It does. It gets the job done. And yeah.
Right, but there's a subtlety to mastering, and like
Right.
you say, the average bear might not even pick up on it. I mean, it's one of those things where
Right.
you have to kind of have like 10 copies of the thing, and just a lot of free time and an obsessive nature to like really like get any kind of difference out of it.
Right.
So remastering is just putting a different kind of polish on a release, whether that's EQ or whether that's volume, or, you know, just, or whether that's trying to make it more dynamic or return it to its original dynamic state, whatever. That's the mastering side of things. But then there is the remixing side of things. This is where things are actually moving around. This is where it will actually possibly sound different from what you grew up with, and you'll be like, oh, this is a different experience. This is a unleashing, you know, taking the lid off the onion. And you take a lot of lids off of onions, right?
That's right.
I mean, every day. Every day. I mean, as soon as I finish this show, I'm gonna go take a lid off of an onion because I want to know what's inside of that.
Let me see what's in that onion.
So yeah, this is a remix. this is where you go back into the tracks and decide where they have different locations. Things get repanned, things get a different place in the mix. Maybe different takes are used. Maybe things that were lower in the mix are brought up. There's all kinds of different ways to approach a remix. I mean, and even as far as like we might know from growing up with dance remixes, where you take the rhythm section out altogether and throw in a disco beat, and then you're ready for the dance
Right.
floor. So there's that
Right.
that side of it too.
Right.
But
Yeah.
what are some of your remix favorites and experiences?
Oh, remixes. I mean, I am unabashedly a fan of the dance remix. I love a good dance remix, especially for rock and roller. I guess most recently, and it's not now that recent, but when In Utero's Nirvana's In Utero anniversary came up, there were they did the big shebang. They did it for all the releases, honestly. As the anniversaries came up, but you got like a remastered version, which I guess this is a good spot to mention that a lot of times remastering happens for format changes. And that's where part of the EQ can really shift things, because the way you master something for a CD is not necessarily the same way you master something for vinyl, vice versa with cassettes, whatever. Streaming, same thing. So if you know your release is only going to be streamed, it'll be mastered probably one way. If it's only going to be on vinyl, probably one way. It's kind of not a one size fits all, although you can get close. Anyway, so they remastered it with, I believe, the now late Steve Albini at the helm of that process. He and Bob Weston up in Chicago. And then they were like, hey, we're doing this big anniversary. Why don't we do something crazy? And they went to Abbey Road with all of the masters and allowed him a chance in 2013 to remix the album with like a fresh set of ears, not using, he basically didn't even keep, I don't think he kept much the same, as far as like, most things. There's like it's a pretty healthy remix. There's different like guitar solo tracks and things like that. There's different vocal inflections. I think he took the strings out of songs. Like, it's like, what would Steve Albini do right now if somebody handed him that record to mix? And it's a fairly different record. It's great. I love it. I love the original. So neither one is like better or worse. But I think because of the joy of doing those and the money that was being made, there were some others that followed. REM did a Monster that is also very revealing. I love that one too. It's a fun, I'll know that. Both of those records I know like the back of my hand because I listened to them so much when they came out because they were so like teen years. So much of my musical exploration and all that was kind of tied into those records. But hearing like Scott Litt go back in and really like mess with like the takes and like it's a decidedly different version of Monster that I think I favor the one that came out, but it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun to be like, what if?
No, I was going to mention the REM Monster remix as well because that one and Bob Dylan's Time Out of Mind both got the same kind of makeover because Monster came out in the mid 90s and then Dylan's Time Out of Mind came out in 99. And both of them are loaded with lots of reverb and lots of just distortion and just layers of stuff. And both kind of got a desaturation remix. REM's Monster, like tracks like "Let Me In," where I felt the melancholy tone of the lyrics, but I couldn't hear them,
Right.
But
right.
So that one, especially that track, gets to be a major revelation. Like, oh wow, this is a heavy tune. It's
Right.
nice to hear it exposed.
Right.
And even like the hits, like What's the Frequency, Kenneth, that has some of the wah, 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 wah dialed back.
Right. Right. Right.
um,
Right. Right.
yeah, overall, there's just a lot less saturation in terms of effects on Monster.
Yeah, and I think it's fun to it's fun to have those moments of like, well, what will we do different now, knowing what we know, being who we are, feeling how we feel, whatever. As I understand it, the Nirvana guys gave, Albini like free reign. They're like, here's, you take all the masters, you go, you do a mix, and we'll put it on the anniversary versions. The cool thing is on the CD, this guy, you get all of it. So you get like the original album remastered, and then you get his like 2013 remix. So they're like side by side, which is fun because then you really get to hear it. I mean, I think the main thing is that the big changes on that one are just like it sounds more raw and like more like a Steve Albini record. I mean, it was his record. I mean, he recorded that record, so it's not like it's not his style. But I think there were some mixing choices when it came time to mix. Um, famously, Scott Litt was called in to do some singles and stuff, so those mixes were different for sure than the original Albini mixes. And I'd be remiss if I didn't mention that there are like 8 gajillion versions of In Utero like floating around that have some version of a full Albini mix from the original times anyways, because it seems like nobody was paying attention at Geffen when they were sending out whatever to get mastered or something. I don't know. There's like, tales of European copies with like a full Albini mix with no like Scott Litt mix and stuff like that. So it was kind of a fun thing to like have it all be done one way, I guess, as well. So, but yeah, those are some of the newest. Oh, I should mention these guys. This is like a Dirty box set. It's like a super fancy version of Dirty by Sonic Youth. They kind of took it. It was a remastered version of the record, but it also has a different track listing, which is an interesting way to do it. They put back in one of Lee Ronaldo's songs, Genetic, that was left off originally and became like a B-side. They put it in its, I guess, where it was originally going to go, maybe, in the track listing, which is another thing you can do when you go back in for these. You can just negate everything that has ever happened before.
Yes. Oh,
and
yes.
just, here you go. Here's your new record.
Right.
Which it's only weird because those, I'm sure you're well aware of this. You get very used to a record and how it's paced and how it's sequenced, and then you hear it with a new song in a place that seemingly there was no new song before. That song wasn't there, and then you're like, wait, what? So it always kind of trips me up when I hear it, but it's a good song. I don't know why they left it off. I don't know. Maybe it was a space issue on the OG. But
it was already a really long album, wasn't
it's
it?
It's not
Dirty's pretty lengthy.
Yeah. They definitely had it crammed in there. So I don't know if they were like, sorry, Lee, you get like, this is all you get. You get 2 songs. That's it. 2.
Saving it for the box set.
Right. And guess what? Guess who got it? Ding. But yeah, those are the biggies of late. Well, I guess there's we had mentioned prior to coming on the A Love Supreme.
Right. Look at it.
Recently got the like mono mix for the first time, which is interesting. I have it. I listened to it. I think as strange as this is to say, I think I like it
Yeah.
better.
Yeah.
Um,
Right.
it makes more sense as like a sonic picture, which makes me sound like some audiophile that I'm not. But um, if you are unfamiliar with A Love Supreme, it is generally has always been, I believe, in stereo. And so what that means is that the musical image as you see it is split, and because of the way it was mic'd, it's like the instruments are kind of hard panned off, and like I think the drums even are like panned.
Yeah.
It's a
It's
strange
very
way to
like,
hear it.
it's very like over here, over here.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's very
And
like wow. Like you can't sit in the middle of the speakers and be like, "Oh, I'm like sitting in the room with them
right.
like watching them." Like no, it's very like off to the side. Everything is pushed.
It,
And
it was a very 60s thing. The Beatles do a lot of that too, where it's like, oh, everything's over here and then everything else
right.
is over here.
Right.
It's weird.
And this is
Weird.
only weirder because as a jazz album, it's like, the mics are set, the guys go in the room and they play. And then you, generally speaking, not until the fusion years, did you like really like go crazy with like panning in the middle of stuff. Like there's none of that on A Love Supreme. It's very like stark and like it's presented as, four individuals playing music, not a like sonic exercise of like attention grabbing, like weird stuff flying all over like a
All
Jimi
right.
Hendrix record. Um,
Yeah.
and this kind of takes that panning away and makes everything come together in a way that makes it kind of makes more sense to your brain a little bit. Um, it's just interesting. It's different. I think I talked to another friend of mine about it, and that was kind of his same take. It was like it's different. It's not bad, and I don't know that I love it more than the original, but I definitely don't like it less.
Right.
If that
Right.
makes more sense. Um, it does seem to capture a different kind of energy when you hear it all like kind of in the middle instead of like everybody's kind of everywhere.
Yeah. I mean, that's the cool thing about mono, especially releases from the 60s, that you're used to hearing more goofy stereo trickery with.
Right.
Like I really enjoy the mono version of Pink Floyd's "A Saucer Full of Secrets," which is
Oh yeah.
notoriously full of
Right. Right.
but that what an achievement that the person that mixed it for mono is able to like get all that same trippiness, but like straight down the middle, like
Right.
stacked.
Right.
It's really impressive, and it doesn't lose any of its weirdness. It's
No.
just a different feel and a different approach to stacking the tracks.
Right. Do you have any remixes that you enjoy immensely?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Well, well, I don't know about enjoy, but that are notable.
Right.
While I'm talking about Floyd, that they had an album in 1987, "A Momentary Lapse of Reason," which is very, very 80s. Yeah, it's very 80s sounding, is it
So
not?
80s. I love
It
it so much.
has lots of gated drums
Yes.
and just heavy synths, and
Yes.
it's just loaded with the 80s-ness.
Yes.
In
Just like me.
fact, top secret, like it's just a David Gilmour solo album, because the
Yeah.
drumming was mostly Carmine Appice
Yeah.
and Jim Keltner,
Yep.
because they
Legend.
were at the time they were in the middle of their lawsuits with Roger, and they were like really hyper focused on like, oh, we got to put out the best product possible, so
Right.
like had to call in the pros and let Nick keep with the race cars. What is it with drummers and race cars? But
I
anyway,
know, right?
I
Weren't we just
digress.
talking about this with Bonham?
Yeah, it's a thing. It's a thing. Drummers and race cars. But anyway,
Yeah.
he goes out and do that. So he's not even on this album. Neither is Rick Wright. He's kind of in a legal limbo because he had been fired from the band by Roger, and they were legally trying to pull him back in, but they hadn't quite got to it yet. So it's just it's David and some folks. But anyway, 2019, they after years of people on blogs like bitching about the production of this album, the band finally says, okay, well, how about this? I know.
I loved it.
Yeah, they pull a George Lucas and they change the thing around. So 2019 they get 80-year-old Nick Mason back into the studio to put his own drum tracks on.
Oh, is that what
And
they did? I see.
yeah,
I don't.
yeah,
I haven't heard it because I refuse. Because I love it so much. I love it so much.
right. But yeah,
But
yeah. I
yeah.
mean, it's a dramatic makeover, and it's
Oh
obviously
yeah.
like it's Pink Floyd. They're like, hey, how can we milk some more money out of these 14 albums? But they're gonna do
Right.
it.
Right. Right.
but I'm glad that that you have resisted.
Yeah. I haven't.
But
I
no,
haven't heard any of it. Did they redo "Delicate Sound of Thunder" too, or no?
well, that one got a remix,
They got a
but
remix. That's right. Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. But that was just a case of like dialing back some of the '80s reverb and
Right.
just and dialing back some of the more dated synth sounds and trying to pretend like it was more organic than maybe it really was.
Oh, don't
but
do that. Don't do that.
but no, this remix comes out, it's 2019, and it's just dramatically different, and it's a little bit kind of a thud because like the absence of that reverb just makes it seem overly dry. It's like I think it
Right.
was like maybe overly corrected.
Right.
Um, but that's it's a thing. It's a thing.
Right. 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 I mean, I think it's
That's
the same way that like King Crimson, their
right.
catalog. I know Fripp has gone back and like done some new mixes, and some of that's another one where I'm like, I just love it so much that I'm like, I I don't know that I want to know like what you would change now. Like I love the fact that like maybe maybe the you that didn't know all the things that you know now was doing all the right things.
Right. Right.
Like because that's how you felt and that's how it went down and that's how it. There's part of me that's always like that with these things. And I think the Crimson stuff that I've heard this remix is like I don't know. I like that like the drums are weird and muddy and like kind of buried even though they're like going insane like the entire time like it's part of what you listen to a King Crimson record for. Um
Yeah.
but like I don't know. Like I don't need to hear 21st century schizoid man like cleaned up. Like no. Like it sounds insane cuz it's insane. Like
Right.
it is a crazy song.
you,
All
you know
28 minutes of it or whatever.
Right. So you're saying like he doing like just doing different mixes or like overdubbing new stuff?
He didn't I don't think they put anything new. I just think that they when it came time to reissue the catalog again like in a real way cuz I think he fully owns all of the masters to everything. I think he went back in with like an engineer, maybe somebody who worked live sound or something or sound with them at some point, I believe. And they just like, all right, let's take a shot at a new mix and see like what happens. And it came out well, and then they just kind of kept going and like kept, kept making new decisions, as it were,
Right.
mixing wise. So I mean, in that effect, it is a remaster because you have to remaster after you remix, obviously. But yeah, there's definitely new versions uh, of all of. I'm pretty sure all of the catalog at this point.
Wow.
I
So
don't know
kind
if
of
they've
like
done it
what Yes did. Yes remixed. Steven
right.
Wilson remixed every damn thing.
Yeah, which is,
Well,
I mean, it's cool, but it's like, I mean, at the same time, it's like I do enjoy to a degree the like Jimmy Page method of like, no, I'm just gonna remaster it again. And, part of that seemingly is because he wanted it to sound like the like original vinyl copies that he had access to still that I think still sounded awesome because everybody always complains about, my version of Led Zeppelin 1 sounds like a truck ran over it twice before I got it, and it's like the tapes just weren't handled well, or the original mastering wasn't handled well, or whatever the story about whichever Led Zeppelin record you have is. It seems like he just kind of wanted to make them a little bit more cohesive, which I get. And also, it's like, I guess that's one of the ones I should have mentioned when I started this whole remaster thing was I feel like those I can tell a difference when I listen to the new remastered versions versus the old versions that I have. And it's weird. I feel like on some of those Zeppelin records that it's like almost song to song. You can tell like more differences in some and less in others. Like, I feel like the main thing is like I feel like the drums are a little bit more up front, almost like as a tribute to like Bonzo in a way. Or like maybe there was, a feeling that over time the sonic oomph had been dulled a little bit because they'd been messing with those tapes for the last 60 years or whatever.
Right,
However many times you remaster it.
right. And that's probably worth noting too. Is sometimes it's a matter of preservation,
Right.
because stuff is like on tape and it's not going to stay on tape forever. Tape falls
No.
apart. So
Yes.
a lot of stuff ended up getting digitally remastered in the
Right.
80s,
Don't
90s.
say those are dirty words. Dirty
Yeah,
words.
yeah.
Digitally remastered. That's a dirty word.
Ugly. It's ugly.
I mean, but it is. Yeah, exactly. You're exactly right. Like at some point, tape stops doing what tape does. Like it becomes unmagnetized and doesn't hold on to any of the things that are pressed upon it anymore, or it dry rots because it's not in like a temperature controlled environment, or you have a giant fire at Universal and you lose it all. Yeah, and so you need some way to preserve some of this stuff, and not just for money making, but for like the fact that it's it's important.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
But yeah.
And then and now we move into the more sci-fi territory of AI shit. Like we've got hobbits working with beetles to like remix shit with AI. I mean, holy crap! What's next?
Yeah.
I mean, is that the future? Will there one day be a day where people talk about, oh man, have you heard Ford's remix of OK Computer? Man, he nailed it. He put some shit in it.
It'll be so quiet. It'll just be silence.
Have you heard Steve's remix of Metal Machine music? He just overdubbed a bunch of Yanni stuff and took out all the noise.
I put all my own guitar tracks on OK Computer. I really fixed it up for those dudes. It's fine. I know this is really what you wanted it to sound like.
Yeah, but I mean, is that like where the things go next in terms of remixing and?
Oh man, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I feel like there probably is a place for the technology of like, I guess this comes down to like how much you feel like we should be cleaning up the sound of things. But I mean, to be honest, like at some point, like we said, like tape starts to degrade, and every time you do one of these remasters or a remix, you're like using an original tape to make a copy, and then you're like making a copy probably onto tape, maybe not. It just depends on how you're doing it. And then that tape at some point gets remastered again. And so then it continuously gets run across tape heads over and over and over again, and that degrades it. And so, yeah, you come to a point where it's like, maybe we should clean this up. And maybe that is something that AI would be good at. I'm sure AI is going to leave a comment down below and tell me what it thinks about what I just said. But yeah, I mean, it feels like a job that would be great for a Computron 5000 AI bot.
Right.
Like, hey Computron, can you make George Harrison's guitar, like all the weird stuff in the back, like cleaner? Like, sure. and then and suddenly like his guitar is gently weeping even better, like without changing, without changing notes, without flying in another take or something, but just like literally like kind of scrubbing the the background noise, the white
Right. Oh,
noise that's inherent, which I know what the actual comment would be if anybody's actually watching this is, what is he talking about? That's what makes analog analog. Like, yeah, I know. But I mean, there is a world in which it's unlistenable, like if it gets to a point, and again, for preservation, maybe it would be a job that old Computron 5000 is good for.
right. No doubt.
Janitorial musician work.
Yeah.
Maybe it's,
Remixing, remastered,
yeah. I mean,
remembering.
I feel like the first remaster I got that I was like, oh, I feel like this does sound different. I got when I really took my deep dive into like Echo and the Bunnymen. They had just reissued their catalog on CD, and they had these nice. It was on Ryko. It was like these nice, or no, Rhino, and it was all in these nice slip covers, and it was awesome. They put all these extra bonus tracks and stuff on there, but they like remastered everything, and it sounded real good. And I was like, oh, maybe there is something to this. But then you have people like, the Pixies, you know, Frank Black years ago was like, I am not going to remaster anything. We did it
Oh,
like we
really?
did it, and it stays just like we did it,
Wow. Oh, wow.
which is like, that's kind of cool. Like,
Right.
to feel so
Yeah.
strongly that you did it right, that you're like, yeah, we made those choices. It's the record that like, why would I change anything about it? Like,
It's a strong stand.
it is a strong stance. I don't know how I feel. I mean, not that I'm in a position to like remaster anything, but like, I don't know how I feel about any of the recorded output I've ever been a part of. I don't know, it's like, I don't care. Like, remaster away.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
Well, that yeah. No, I mean it's never done for me. I mean, there's always
Right.
something else to tinker.
You can always tweak
Always.
it. Right. Right.
Yeah, it's never
You can
done.
always get Nick Mason in here to do some more drum parts.
Yeah, just call him up. He's only like 84, 89, whatever. Just shift him on over.
He's like
He's
the
actually in
rock and
great
roll
shape.
world's dad.
He is.
He's just such
He's
a,
in killer shape. I was thoroughly impressed. I saw him in 2019, and I was expecting it to be like a sympathy gig, like, oh, I'm gonna go check in on Grandpa. But man, he's killing it.
he
He's
can still
killing it.
do it. Yeah.
He can
It's
still
great.
do it.
It's great.
Ancient. So whatever.
Well, I'm glad that we
Uh,
solved all of the world's problems of
Right,
remixing and remastering.
basically, it's up to you. It's up to you if you're a musical archaeologist and you love minutia and you love variations and you're the kind of person that bought all of the X-Men variant covers when they came out in the 90s. Then yeah, man,
I never did that.
this world is for you. But
Right.
if you're also that guy that says, hey, we made this thing back then and it was perfect, and that perfect version is the one that I have the emotional connect to, then that's also cool too.
Yeah. And I mean, I think, like I said before, I think it's a great way for like, if you're young or old, or it doesn't matter what age you are, like if you're getting into music, maybe with the resurgence of vinyl, and you have people in your life that have these big old records on a wall or whatever, and you're like, I want to get into that. It's a great way to get into, music from a past decade for not the money that it costs you to find a record made in a past decade these days.
Yeah.
It's a different, I guess that's sometimes true, sometimes not. But generally speaking, like if you're finding one of these big records from like the 60s or 70s, like you're going to pay a lot of money to get an original. Or you could buy a remastered version, which, yeah, it may come from like a 12th generation master or whatever. But like, again, the important thing is that people are listening to the thing, the art,
Yeah.
and
Right.
connecting with it, and it connects with them, and they get to like share it with their friends. And I hope that for my kids, that like they get into that stuff, and like they have like little clandestine groups that meet and like check out all the liner notes and do what like all the stuff that I did, like, oh my god, look at Michael Stipe's hair, like or
Everybody can take the lid off the onion.
that's right, you can all take the together as one.
Together, we shall take the lid off.
But yeah, don't forget that should be our catchphrase. Let's take the lid off the onion here at the Mad Collectors.